Big mansions are coming to GTA Online in the hills of Vinewood, far away from the city, and more. So the big question is, how many mansions are we really getting with this update? Now, this information raises a lot of concerns and a lot of questions, and it comes from one of the most reputable insiders we have in the community, TesFunds2. So he says Spanish and Korean translations of this article suggest we're receiving 3 new mansions in total, and there are so many questions about this short statement. So the keyword here is this article suggests, not confirms, and so don't take this as any official confirmed information by Rockstar. And the big question I initially thought when I read this is, how many are we actually getting brand new, and how many existing already built ones are we getting? Because if he refers to 3 new mansions in total, as in the only purchasable mansions we're ever gonna get with this entire update is only 3, that is definitely pretty worrying and concerning and kind of a letdown. The only scenario where I'd be okay with that at the end of the day is if Rockstar would decide to give us some more and more mansions in the drip feed of this update, but usually they only do that with vehicles, not with actual properties. 3 mansions on launch plus maybe a couple more in the drip feed is honestly fine, as long as we're actually getting a good handful, like let's say 6 or 7. Unintentional right there, but I just realized the joke that I just made. Another thing this could also mean is maybe we're just getting 3 newly built mansions, and then we're also gonna get on top of that the already built mansions that are just gonna be made purchasable. I'm really hoping that's the case, because if we get only brand new built mansions, which is cool and all, and we don't actually touch any of the already existing mansions, so many amazing properties and buildings that should be made purchasable, that would be such a waste of an update, including new constructions and existing buildings already. And so it definitely is pretty minimal effort to just make those viable for us and be able to customize the insides of them. It's really way less work for Rockstar to do pre-built mansions rather than actually doing all those map changes, adding construction sites to the map, and then eventually giving us those big new mansions. So it's really not a lot of work, and I really hope Rockstar takes advantage of the incredible amount of mansions that we have in the game that we should be able to buy with this update, because I mean, there's no other update that would actually make sense for it. I'm really hoping we don't get the worst scenario of just 3 new purchasable properties, including both of them. I mean, we already know 3 pretty much confirmed locations, one being on the right side of Vinewood Hills here, the other one being on the left side of Vinewood Hills in this location, and Devin Weston's mansion, which is very likely to also be purchasable at the end. So that's going to be all the way up here. Those are the 3 properties we already know about, and so there's so many nice houses in this area of the map right next to Michael's house, and a bunch of amazing ones obviously in the middle of Vinewood Hills that we should be able to buy. So let me know your thoughts about that down below in the comment section. On top of that, here are some really cool features that are already existing with some famous celebrity mansions that we should see with the release of this update. So the first feature that I think is probably the most badass thing I've ever seen in any celebrity mansion, Drake has an NBA regulated basketball court at his house, and look how amazing this is. It's all custom painted, custom built for him. It has his logo in the center of the court, which I think is super neat. If we ever get something like this in GTA Online, I would love for our crew logo to actually be an option in the center of the court like that. NBA regulated means it's literally top of the line, super high quality court and hoops obviously, and all the markings on the court are super accurate. So I really hope we get something like this. If not a basketball court, then maybe like another type of sport that we could play in GTA Online that maybe we don't have in the game just yet. But I think this is just such a cool look to have in our property, be able to have a custom sports arena in our property. That is the definition of luxury. It makes it even cooler that instead of bleachers on the side of the court, you actually have a really luxurious looking sofa. The scoreboard looks super clean, and overall this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a celebrity mansion. So hopefully we get something like that. Another really cool feature that Drake has in his mansion is a really cool hallway with a huge collection of sports jerseys, so specifically basketball jerseys, but I feel like the GTA equivalent of this could be different achievements that we had in game. So if you press pause, go into stats, and and then go into awards, you can see all of the different awards that you got in game, and I think these would be super cool to actually hang up on your wall. $10 million in game, $100 million if you get like 10,000 kills. That would be much cooler to see on your walls inside of your mansion rather than in the pause menu of GTA. And we have some good examples of things like these already inside of the agency. For example, if you go inside of your actual office room, you could see a couple of different things. One of them is on your actual desk, so we have like partner of the year. Having cool awards or just a collection of like rare items would be super cool. So this is one thing on the desk. But then if we go up here, we have some more items. I can't remember exactly what items these are actually for specifically, but I know you actually unlock them by doing certain missions or completing certain tasks. But this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. So having like these types of like luxurious awards hung up on the wall would be actually super cool. We have 5 more on this side. I think Franklin has a good amount in his room. So look how sick this would be in a hallway inside of your mansion, just having like sports jerseys, these gold mixtapes, and then a bunch more items that you could basically just show off inside of your property if you happen to just invite a friend over inside. And maybe we can actually customize the wall art as well. So having a bunch of different types of posters we can choose from, the customization inside of these mansions really should be top notch. It should be much better than, let's say, the high-end apartments. Another example of this can be found in the garment factory. So right next to our computer, we have a bunch of different awards from completing these FIB files. Whether they're on the desk or hung up on the wall somehow, these are the types of things that I would love to see inside of the mansion, just because they scream show off in luxury. And then another cool example of this would be inside the arcade. So we have the gold tapes on the table right there. That's another cool touch that you don't originally get with this property. You actually have to unlock it. Another thing I want to see get a huge boost and a huge level up from other properties is the closet. And so the closet could be much cooler than we already have in the game in a bunch of properties like the high-end apartments, the CEO office, the agency. Inside the agency might be the coolest like looking layout of the closet, also the casino penthouse, but these closets might look a little different from each other, but none of them actually have any cool features. And so if you look at this picture right here, you can actually make your closet super customizable if we would get an option to look through, let's say, all our owned shoes and then place each pair of shoes in a different spot, let's say by pressing right on the D-pad and then just using the D-pad to scroll through the shoes and actually choosing our outfit manually. Basically, the closet could be way cooler in that sense, so let me know what you think about that down below in the comments. But that's another cool feature that hopefully we will get with this property. Another thing that pretty much any mansion should have is a really cool game room, and I'm talking about new mini games that should and are really easy to integrate into GTA Online. For example, like table hockey or 8-ball pool. If you think about it, we have way more complicated mini games in the game already, like for example golf, which is a pretty cool mini game that you can actually have some really good fun with. Compared to golf, if you think of things like 8-ball pool or table hockey, the mechanics of those games could be really simple to integrate. So that's one thing I'm really hoping to see in those game rooms. So we don't have the same exact like arcade games in there. We actually have some new things that we can mess around with. If you have any features you think would be super cool to see with the mansions, let us know down below in the comment section. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you're new to the channel for more awesome videos like these that you don't want to miss. Click the video on screen out to see more. I hope you all enjoy that one, and peace.